our two MCs, Harpreet Singh, who's a well-known broadcaster here in the Lower Mainland, and Stephanie Ryan, who's a local community activist and political writer. I'm going to turn it over to Stephanie and Harpreet. Thank you.
Thanks, Bruce. Welcome, everyone, today. Thanks for taking the time to come out and speak out on this important issue. My name is Stephanie Ryan, and I'm going to be emceeing today with Harpreet Singh. We all know that the HST is an important issue and that something needs to be done about it. This tax is going to make life more expensive for everyone, for small business owners, for seniors, for students, for those who are struggling the most to make it through these tough economic times. So we need to do something. We've heard from people across Surrey that they don't like this tax and they want to get rid of it. The good news is that we have more than a year until this legislation is discussed in the Legislative Assembly. So we have some time to do something. So I think that we need to remember that there's strength in numbers, that we have power, and that if we can keep this up, that we have the power to make some change here. We're going to be hearing from some community members from across different sectors and different walks of life today. But first, let's hear from Harpreet Singh. Thanks.
Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. सारे ने ही सत श्री अकाल जी. सब दा इत्थे जी आया नु जी. मैं हाँ हरप्रीत सिंह ਅਤੇ मैं एक टॉक शो होस्ट हैगा. कल परसों फोन आया कि एक रैली की जा रही है जिस विच कि ਅਸੀਂ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆ ਕੇ अपना एज MC रोल निभाओ. 2-3 मिनट सोचा कि की एक पत्रकार ਨੂੰ आ के ऐसी रैलीज़ विच एक तरफा गल करनी चाहिए, पर दूसरे पासे नाल ही दिमाग ने कहा कि ये तो लोगों के हक की गल हैगी है. लोग जिहड़े कि ऑलरेडी इत्थे परेशान हैं, मुश्किलों का सामना कर रहे हैं, बड़े लंबे समय तो मिनिमम वेज विधान की गल की जा रही है, उस पासे का कोई ध्यान नहीं दे रहा. पर HST के मुद्दे के उत्ते कोई सुनवाई नहीं. बहुत सारिया डेमोनस्ट्रेशनस हो रही हैं, पटीशन साइन हो रही ने. सो इस करके अज तुहाडे नाल कुछ समय जिहड़ा बितावांगे. हर रोज़ टॉक शो राही तो सांझ पाने आ, पर अज जो ये सांझ है एक महत्वपूर्ण सांझ होनी चाहिए ताकि सरकार नूं पता लगे कि लोग जिहड़े ने वो चुप नहीं बैठणगे. पीपल वांट जस्टिस. दिस इज़ नॉट अ वन टाइम थिंग. Everyone is struggling today. It's really difficult. We work since morning till night, and then it's becoming difficult day and day. But the government is, rather than helping the people, putting such kind of taxes on the people, and it is a bigger burden on them. So it is a shame what all is happening, and we need to demonstrate this all ताकि पता चले कि इत्थों दे लोग, सरी दे लोग ते खास तौर ते जिहड़े फ्रेजर दे इस पासे रहिंदे ने, उन्हां दी आवाज़ दा भी कोई मायना हैगा. मैं ये कहांगा जी कि HST नू खत्म करो. HST मैं कहना, तुसी कहना खत्म करो. उस तो बाद अंग्रेजी विच करांगे ताकि ये आवाज़ पहुँच सके जेड़े लोगों नू ये समझ रहे हैं कि कोई नहीं जिस तरह मर्जी दबाई जाओ. समा ये कहता है, अते खास करके इहो जिहियां डेमोक्रेसीज़ दे विच जिथे कि लोगों नू पूरा अधिकार है, जेकर वो भेज सकते हैं तां बुलवा भी सकते हैं. HST नू खत्म करो. HST नू खत्म करो. पिछों आवाज नहीं आ रही जी, जरा आवाज का पता लगे. HST नू खत्म करो. स्टॉप HST. स्टॉप HST. सो बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया एक बार फिर आप सब दा. आप सब नू पता है कि HST की हैगी है. इसके बारे जेडे लोग मरा जिंदगी रोज़ हर रोज़ जो इस तो परेशान हो रहे हैं तो आने वाले समय में होर तंग होणगे, उन्होंने असीं तुहाडे नाल मुलाकात करवाउण जा रहे हैं. उहदे विच सब तो पहला असीं सरदार जसबीर सिंह संधू नूं ऑन एयर नहीं इत्थे लैके आने आ अते ओह तुहानूं दस्सणगे कि एक रेस्टोरेंट ओनर होण दे नाते ओह की महसूस करदे ने कि यह एक इंडस्ट्री जिहड़ी कि बहुत ज़्यादा सफ़र करेगी, उसनों आने वाले समय में होर की नुकसान होएगा. इस बारे जसबीर संधू जी 2-3 मिनटां वास्ते तुहाडे नाल सांझ पाउंदे ने जी. जसबीर संधू.
Thank you, Gurpreet. Thank you. I'd like to thank Carol James and our great MLAs from south of the Fraser for doing great work in Victoria, fighting this, stopping this HST and getting rid of it. Thank you. I agree with what previous speakers have said, what Harpreet has said. But I'm here as a small business person, somebody who owns a restaurant, and how it's going to affect my restaurant and how it's going to affect my customers. My customers are not wealthy. My customers are not your caviar crowd. My customers do not have expense accounts from corporations. My customers are people and folks like yourself. My customers are everyday people. My customers are everyday people, families, friends that want to go out and enjoy a nice dinner out with the family. And these are the folks that are going to be paying the HST. In this fragile economy, most people are already feeling the pinch of the hard times. My customers are cutting back. They can't pay more. They won't pay more. A dinner out is a tiny luxury. That is the thing to go first when people are worried about putting food on the table, paying their rent, paying their mortgages. And as anyone in the restaurant industry will tell you, when your customers are hurting, we are closing the doors and laying off staff.
Shame.
And restaurants like mine employ a lot of people in British Columbia. And you know, we constantly hear this, that small business are a backbone of our economy, that small businesses are economy that drives this British Columbia. Well, it's true. A lot of my colleagues that I work with, my suppliers, my producers, they're all small businesses. And that doesn't even mention my family, my employees that depend on small businesses throughout British Columbia. So, let me ask you a question. If a small business let me ask you a question. If small business is the engine of our economy, why is Gordon Campbell pouring sugar in the gas tank? Why is Stephen Harper paying him to do it with your tax dollars? I like to say that Stephen Harper is Gordon Campbell's silent partner in this crooked deal. Both these guys like to talk about cutting taxes, but it's really just a shell game. They're cutting taxes for big business. They're cutting taxes for high-end income earners. And they're hitting everyone else with HST, endless tolls, bridges in Surrey, along with levies, surcharges, premiums. Well, you get the idea. Those with less pay more. Those with more pay less. It's insane economics. George Bush proved this in the United States. But this isn't about what's good for the economy. A big sales tax in the midst of a recession is more than a stupid. It is reckless. The feds and the province have obviously been working very closely in secret backroom deals for a long time. There has been no public consultation at all. And community hasn't been consulted on this at all. They wanted to keep this hush-hush till after the election. Well, this is the way things are being done in our country, and it's not acceptable to me. It puts thousands of jobs in jeopardy. This is not acceptable to the Canadians. They are rewarding few wealthy friends of theirs and their backroom political dealers. I must say, we must stop GST. Let's shop local, support our local each other, and let's tell Campbell and Harper that they work for us, not the other way around. Thank you.
Thank you, Jasper. And we're going to hear from Art Cubane next, who is a well-known seniors advocate.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to throw the support of seniors to the opposition to the HST. The HST, like all sales taxes, are regressive. And regressive taxes hurt seniors on fixed income, and they hurt working people. And therefore we should oppose it. The Jimmy Pattersons of this world don't care, because they don't pay the sales tax. It's their business that buys everything for them. The problem we have had for the last 20, 30 years is there has been a complete shift away from the taxation of corporations and the rich to average Canadians, people on fixed income, and people who just bloody well can't afford the extra tax coming with the HST. It's so bad that I found that when seniors have to hire someone to help them in terms of home support, they now have to pay sales tax on top of the amount of money you have to pay these workers. It's disgraceful, it's anti-seniors, and it deserves to be defeated. Thank you very much.
ਥੈਂਕ ਯੂ ਆਰਟ ਸਾਡੇ ਭਾਈਚਾਰੇ ਵਿੱਚੋਂ ਬਹੁਤ ਸਾਰੇ ਐਸੇ ਲੋਕ ਨੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਕਿ ਟੈਕਸੀ ਇੰਡਸਟਰੀ ਨਾਲ ਕੰਮ ਕਰਦੇ ਨੇ ਇਸ HST ਦਾ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਤੇ ਕੀ ਅਸਰ ਪਏਗਾ ਉਸ ਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਕੁਝ ਸੁਣਨੇ ਆ that what impact it will have on the taxi industry. Mr. Amrik Mahal, who is representing the Black Top Taxi, will let us know how this is going to, all taxis, yeah, of course, and how it is going to have an impact on his industry. Mr. Amrik Mahal.